Celebrities who made a mysterious deal for fame.
That's when I went to the Crossroads and made a big deal. You know, like...
Before Gaga became famous, a rising singer named Lina Morgana mysteriously disappeared.
With candles lit around it, similar to what we saw with A$AP Rocky in his What's Up.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in all day. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. What would you do for fame and fortune, and or what you believe you deserve in life? Well, this is part 2 of celebrities doing the unthinkable and sacrificing family members. This is all alleged.
Celebrities who made a mysterious deal for fame.
Beyoncé once said she becomes someone else when Sasha Fierce takes over, but some believe Sasha isn't just a stage persona. What if it's something more?
When they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. And I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage. So Sasha comes out and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me, and I knew that was gonna be my coming out night for the BET Awards.
Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love.
Before Gaga became famous, a rising singer named Lina Morgana mysteriously disappeared. Some say Gaga didn't just take inspiration from her.
They say fame comes with a price. But what if Lady Gaga's rise to stardom was built on a hidden tragedy? Before the fame, there was Lina Morgana, a rising star with a voice that could shake the world. Lina and Gaga worked together, writing, dreaming, building something powerful. But in 2008, Lina fell to her death from a hotel roof, under mysterious circumstances. No witnesses, no clear answers, just silence. And almost overnight, Gaga's career exploded like magic. What's chilling is how Gaga's early style, the fashion, the music, the darkness, mirrored Lina's. It was as if Gaga became Lina. Some believe this wasn't just coincidence. They say Gaga was chosen by elites after a ritualistic sacrifice, blood-soaked performances, symbolic rebirths, her fame drenched in occult symbols, the all-seeing eye, pyramids, veils of death. Lina's mother even said it was like watching her daughter live through Gaga, but not freely, like a trapped soul still screaming underneath. Industry insiders whisper of dark contracts, where creativity is bought with blood, and the more Gaga rose, the deeper the symbolism got. Public deaths, silent nods to secret brotherhoods. Was Lina Morgana the price Gaga had to pay? Or was Gaga herself just another pawn, controlled by forces darker than fame? They hide truth in plain sight because they think you won't notice. But the souls that are stolen, they never stop calling out. Follow if you're ready to see the darkness behind the spotlight.
Kanye once started to say, "I sold my," before stopping himself. What was he about to admit?
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. I sold my...
In a rare interview, Bob Dylan admitted he made a deal to reach the top. When asked with who, he simply said, "The chief commander of this world, and the one we can't see."
That's when I went to the Crossroads and made a big deal. You know, like, yeah, one night, and then went back to Minneapolis, and I was like, hey, where's this guy been? You know, even to the Crossroads.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. You know, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
The weekend completely changed his look and sound, and his new persona feels almost possessed. Even he admitted he made the deal for fame. His song Popular mentions what celebrities do to get famous.
You want a cologne line, a perfume line? Okay, they take you back to that room and do it all over again. That's why they have rituals. If a Mason who's moving higher up in a Mason brotherhood, he has a daughter, he knows the rules. Somebody in the brotherhood wants your daughter, she could be 12, 13 years old. You try to persuade your daughter to have sex with him so he can be wed her.
And in the fuck, all this for fame?
Yeah. Well, they do worse than that. Oh, I'm sure you heard.
No, tell me.
Well, I don't want to get too much. They do way worse than that.
Like, okay, what's the most extreme? What's the most extreme thing?
I can't share.
That you know that's been done with other...
Well, you've seen the sacrificial parts. Family members are dying and stuff, and it's like, oh, did they sacrifice? Oh, absolutely they did. Absolutely. A lot of them, especially the ones that don't got talent, and you're wondering, like, how the fuck? How they popping like this? Okay, so they came to them and said, hey, just like you have a regular contract, a music contract, or whatever contract, you have a contract with them. And this is what you're gonna do, and this is what you gotta give up. And they don't even really know the extent to what they're giving up besides the sacrifice, obviously. But it's way more than that. And to get out of the contract, you see these humiliation rituals and things like that. You gotta do a lot to get out of that shit. But you're gonna get what you want in the interim.
You want a cologne line, a perfume line? Okay, they take you back to that room and do it all over again. That's why they have rituals. If a Mason who's moving higher up in a Mason brotherhood, he has a daughter, he knows the rules. Somebody in the brotherhood wants your daughter, she could be 12, 13 years old. You try to persuade your daughter to have sex with him so he can be wed her and have a child.
Here is a disturbing blind item that is allegedly about ritualistic parties that Jay-Z hosts for celebrities, including Questlove, Gloria and Emilio Estefan, and Grace Jones. Everything in this video is alleged, not confirmation of validity of allegations. This one is called The Haunted Condo. Word on the street is that one half of the mega famous music couple, Jay-Z and Beyoncé, think royalty in their genre, has been keeping some interesting party rituals under wraps. A beloved Afro-wielding drummer, Questlove, from a legendary band, The Roots, once attended one of their private condo gatherings and left feeling deeply uneasy after accidentally opening the wrong door. He's been tight-lipped for years, only sharing with close friends that he witnessed was not what it seemed. But after one too many drinks recently, he finally spilled. These get-togethers aren't just music industry schmoozes. They're actually covert adult rituals with very exclusive guest lists. Apparently, our queen of stage, Gloria Estefan, and her business mogul husband, Emilio Estefan, were caught mid-act with a genre-defying artist, Grace Jones, known for her androgynous style and futuristic vibes. The drummer didn't stick around long after seeing the Queen and the Electric Lady entangled, while the King observed. To make things more eyebrow-raising, a PR insider who attended a major industry brunch last month said the couple made a brief appearance outside for photos, but most of the party was locked down, with the security only allowing certain guests deeper access inside. Let's just say the bathroom wasn't the only room getting used.
You know what? That doesn't seem far-fetched to me at all, because at the end of the day, blind items are basically like, for example, someone that's close to the celebrity is basically telling all their business to the paparazzis or the people who are, you know, reporting those stories. So it might be true, but also it made me think of the fact that everyone basically have this respect for Beyonce and they have to thank Beyonce every time. And for them to be hosting parties where it looks like Beyonce is the head witch and she's doing all these rituals for everybody. Beyonce and Jay-Z. So he's basically, you know, getting all the customers, and Beyonce's casting all the spells for everybody, allegedly. We don't know this to be true, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Because why is everyone basically always thanking Beyonce for everything, as if Beyonce is the one that's like the passageway for them to be a celebrity, to be in the position that they're in. So she does the rituals for them to have the limelight, the fame in it.
The second night I went to hell for eternity. Yeah. And just knowing eternity is like torture in itself, because there was no beginning, middle, or end. So you have like a real ego death.
Wait, now, how do you arrive and understand that that's what the moment is? Is there a sign, next exit hell? Is it,
I mean, it's your own psychological hell, basically, is the point of the medicine, right? This is a medicine that it surpasses like anything you could do with talk therapy or like hypnotherapy or any of those things. It just goes straight into your soul, and it takes you to the psychological prison that you hold yourself in. So it's your own version of hell, and I was definitely there.
And when I was 12 years old, I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was to...
CBS doesn't condone this.
Wait a minute. Because I wanted to get famous no matter what, and, you know, then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything, and then I got really famous. And then one day I, like, had this tragic singing accident at
yes, I remember that, yeah.
And I realized then that Satan was coming for my soul. So, yeah, he wanted me to pay up. So, about that, and how at the end I invite Satan to dinner at Spago. And
you should, he's there most nights, but you should.
But wait, and I asked him to, you know, give me a refinance on my soul thing. And so that works out. It has a happy ending.
Oh,
Whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it for years now. Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and, you know, and you know, look at him trying to come it out. It's hilarious, hilarious. And, you know,
you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been offered, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can talk about anything, but
don't do it.
Yeah,
Angelina Jolie, speaking about rituals.
I would encourage like everybody, all different types of sexual life, but there is that thing where it's like a lot of people misunderstand as a thing. It's super. I have to like explain to people how, like, where it's more like you're tied down because you need to like be able to like have something hold you down and keep still, or like the fights that's down, like be able to heal once you're beaten, like you're something. It's like it comes from a real place, like, you know, as opposed to being accessories or something. It's like with tattoos and things. Like I've always done when there's like that time where it's like, oh, I have tattoos, but after a while you're like, you can explain them and they can mean something. It's just comes from that real place. I always saw that film she brought over that night. Oh, or like dark, or like that kind of, you know, but it's a great thing to be able to like see everybody's sex, like just sexuality. But it's so weird when you just, yeah, I have like the most amazing.
Plan 3 total revolutions. 1, 2, 3, ouch!
Like the twisting of a nipple or something?
Yeah, 3 full times. There.
I only saw that one she brought over that night, though.
And then dripping candle wax on it.
My snake, I tried to get, I had that.
with candles lit around it, similar to what we saw with A$AP Rocky in his What's Up music video. Cardi clearly wants his fans to know that he sold his soul and has taken an oath to guide his fans to a burning end. He knows his fans are too manipulated to care. He knows that just like the labels did to him, he has his fans brainwashed to follow him to the end. We can see this by the way his fans behave at his concert. There's a clip online of a teen who was attending one of Playboi Carti's concerts, where he appears to act as he's being possessed by a demon during a show. To me, it appears that he is trolling, but we can't deny that he is also doing this because of the energy Carti's music provides. We can see what shirt he has on, which is Carti's clothing brand, a clothing brand that again is full of satanic rituals. Playboi Carti shows us exactly what energy he wants to spread to his fans when they attend his concert. Recently, Playboi Carti performed at Rolling Loud, where he was wearing horns on his head and making demonic noises as he approached the stage.
Don't be scared.
During one of his songs, he tells his fans not to be scared, as he makes demonic growling noises and can be seen looking demonically possessed. To me, it can't get any clearer than this, as he is literally dressed up as a devil, and people in his audience are acting as if they are possessed. In past concerts, you can see upside-down crosses in the back of his show. To me, I find it sad that most of his fans are just trying to have fun, but are instead being exposed to demonic energy and are being guided to a burning end. Carti's music is very repetitive for a reason, and it's to hypnotize his audience and have a greater influence over their subconscious mind. The fan that acted that he was possessed might think that he was doing this just as a joke and that he was trolling, but in reality, he did this because Carti's music affected his subconscious. Carti, just like many other puppets, admit to their lines through their music. In his song Pray For Me, he opens the song by admitting his connection to Lucifer. He starts the song by rapping, I got a date with the devil. Playboi Carti doesn't hide his alliance. We can see DJ Akademiks also admitting to Carti being part of the Masonic agenda. As in Playboi Carti's song Controller, Akademiks opens the song by stating out of his own mouth that he had to sell his soul for this information and that the Illuminati owns part of his soul. I have said this before in one of my podcasts. I believe Akademiks has sold out and is part of spreading the agenda. If you guys would like to see a full video on DJ Akademiks, comment Akademiks below. If 700 people comment Akademiks, the next video will be about him. Another thing that I noticed was Playboi Carti changing his image to look more like a vampire. There's a photo of him online where he can be seen with an upside-down cross drawn on his head with fangs in his mouth. I do not find it at all coincidental that Carti would portray himself as a vampire, even selling fangs as merch to his own fans so they may follow what he does. As we've seen many times on this channel, those who operate within the Masonic agenda usually participate in satanic blood rituals. Playboi Carti, just like A$AP Rocky and Lil Uzi Vert, all show who they're being manipulated by. Uzi and Carti are both clearly using their music to guide their fans off their intended path. Just like Uzi, Carti was being used to push the same agenda as Lil Nas X. Carti's entire image is satanic. This is clearly visible as he can be seen wearing upside-down crosses as his go-to jewelry, mocking Jesus as the Masons love to do. As I always say, these artists have sold out and have taken an agenda to guide the masses to a burning end for their self-beneficial gain. They have chosen to have their paradise on earth, avoiding God's judgment to have their paradise. Playboi Carti's entire image is satanic, and still people choose to follow and worship him. We must remember what agenda is in motion and what is being forced on the people.
Here, you can see rap artist A$AP Rocky on a satanic pentagram. Why do we keep on seeing links to Satanism? This is not a one-time occurrence. It keeps on happening over and over again.
Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about? Alright, well, I have tickets to see the devil worshiper.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up, now he won't leave.
I never listened to Nicki Minaj, so that's no loss. So,
she worships the devil, I heard anyway, so.
Hollywood is darker than you think.
Does the devil walk amongst us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Everywhere, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah, all right, let's get into it. Man, what's going on in Hollywood?
Lots of weird.
Get into it. I mean, do we think the devil lives there?
I think the devil lives within a lot of people that live in Los Angeles specifically.
Don't you live in Hollywood?
I do, and I want to get the F out of there ASAP.
Okay, look. Now we understand. The devil won't let me.
Yeah.
The devil won't set me free.
Literally, I'm trapped.
It's the mark of the beast. Hey, would you take the mark if you could have your cell phone inside your body?
No.
Never have to call. Take the mark. Take the mark for a Grammy right now.
For a Grammy?
I'd like to first of all thank the devil.
Don't forget to like and follow and stay weird.
But what we're talking about here is ritualistic deviancy used to harness energy of a human being. Let's look at it this way. If you want energy that's as big as a diamond like that and as authentic, where do you get it from? You get it from children. Ritualized, thought out, planned specifically to rip the person down and hide behind their energy. But what if we're talking about a religion that hides behind the energy of the most innocent on this planet who are lit up energetically because it hasn't been broken by this planet? And what if they are using this ritualized in order to separate the human body from the soul body so that they can attach it on the astral, harness that energy, utilize it here? And a person who's had that happen, he's given what he wants because they harnessed his energy and presented him while him, the self, is broken. He is broken and a shell of himself because he has lost his sense of self. They stole that. That is what they wear. So it's like they're wearing his clothes, but look at it in terms of energy. Most of us don't believe there's anything else outside of our physical body.
So the video that you just watched was Sloan Bella, and Sloan Bella, she is a medium channeler. She claims to have channeled Kim Porter. That's not why I posted this video, and I know a lot of people are talking about that entire situation right now. I wanted to post this specific part. Something that I talk a lot about on my TikTok often is energy, and regardless of your own religious belief, we all know, and I think we're all starting to know and realize just how much energy plays a part in almost every single interaction that we have. If I'm having a bad day and I interact with someone, they can feel that. They can feel that something's wrong. Or if I'm sad, somebody can pick up on that. They're receiving my energy, I'm receiving their energy, just in an interaction. So if we can feel energy exchange just on a surface level through nonverbal interactions, I absolutely believe something as intrusive as can be used to obtain or transfer energy as well. I know in some religions, like the Baptist Church, they call it a soul tie. You're connected with someone for a period of time and in that period of time, their energy is transferred to you. Your energy could be transferred to them. So if they're not happy with self, or they're having self-esteem problems, or they're just not happy with life, you will start to not be happy with life. You will start to not be happy with self either. I don't know how much of that you believe. That is something that is taught. Is a way to enter your chakra system. It's a way to enter your emotion. Your emotions get absolutely clouded if you are not dealing with the right person. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize this until my mid-20s. Energy is so powerful and it's so real. I really encourage everyone just to watch that whole video. It is so crazy. Again, I want you to form your own opinions about it.
Why don't you sit down and write a top 40 hit song sometime?
I could do it if I wanted, but even if I did, the chances of it getting played on a top 40 radio station are not very good.
Why is that?
Because of the attitudes of programmers and there's a certain political rigmarole that one must go through in order to have a top 40 record, including special types of presents to certain people in the industry. And that's something that I don't wish to be involved in.
She was doing all sorts of satanic things. She was going through a lot of her rituals, and it was very uncomfortable while we were there. Jeremy and Ashley had gone back to the hotel. They were not there anymore. They'd had dinner with us and then they'd gone back.
Bette Davis was a Hollywood powerhouse. 10 Oscar nominations, 2 wins, and a reputation for being fearless in an industry that often tried to silence women. But behind the accolades and the sharp wit lived a woman few truly knew. Her daughter, Barbara Davis Hyman, would later pull back the velvet curtain, revealing a side of Bette that fans and critics alike never imagined. For years, Betty crafted her image as a tough, no-nonsense survivor, adored for her strength and brilliance. Yet Barbara tells a much darker story, a story of a mother who could be cruel, manipulative, and even frightening behind closed doors. "My mother was not the woman you saw on the screen," Barbara once said. She was something else entirely, something much colder. For decades, fans clung to the image of Betty as the ultimate fighter, the actress who battled studios, rivals, and ageism. But now, through the eyes of her daughter, we are asked to reconsider. Was her public fierceness hiding something even more unsettling in private? To understand the complicated woman Bette Davis became, we have to start at the very beginning, with a little girl whose own childhood was filled with loneliness and loss. A childhood shaped by darkness. Long before Bette Davis became a screen icon.
They say Lady Gaga made it because she's talented. But what if her fame came with a price? Follow, if you ever felt like some stars didn't just rise, they were chosen. From the beginning, Lady Gaga's image wasn't just wild, it was calculated. Her first big hit, Just Dance, released on April 8th, 2008. A date that aligns with multiple occult calendars tied to rebirth and transformation. Her name? A reference to Queen's Radio Gaga. But some say Gaga is a Babylonian term associated with confusion and sacrifice. But here's where it gets wild. Watch her early videos. Bad Romance, Alejandro, Paparazzi. They're full of ritualistic symbols, masked figures, symbolic deaths, rebirth, submission, mind control. Even the stage name, Mother Monster. Some say it's not just branding, it's a title, a role. And the whispers, they say her meteoric rise was tied to a performance contract, not just with the industry, but with something above it. One theory claims she took the place of a lesser-known singer, Lena Morgana, who died mysteriously after Gaga began working with her producer. And when you compare their styles, lyrics, even gestures, it's haunting. Yeah, look it up. In spite of the stardom, some say her biggest act was the one we never saw.
Weird and creepy celebrity interviews caught on live TV.
Is she really wanted to be famous, I guess. Came in and I saw him in the suit, and then she's like, please leave. And she closed the door on me, so I left. And she came up to my apartment fucking sobbing. And she was like, this guy, please, you cannot repeat this. And for 3 years, I held the story to myself because I thought this guy was going to kill me. But they were like, if you ever repeat this, they'll kill me and they'll kill you and they'll kill anybody that you love. And she was sobbing to me, and she's like, there's this guy, he came to me. And he's like, he was telling me, I want to be, but you have to sacrifice somebody. And I just spoke to my mother and my mom. My mom really supports me, and she's like willing to be sacrificed so I can become like famous. A singer or whatever, famous, whatever. And it was completely serious, and it was really fucking terrifying. Really, really terrifying.
Like you believe. I thought y'all supposed to know things. Bye. Now, who can David Dobrik be talking about, right? And I don't know, this is all alleged, right? I used to watch him and Elijah Koshi for a really long time. They used to date, actually. And in my opinion, when I hear stories like this, because yes, they both started together, and me and my ex used to watch them all the time. And the Jake Paul brothers, he loved, and I hated when he watched those because it was just a bunch of nonsense. But anyways, so my thing is, you notice how like they broke up. And then this is all alleged. This is all I'm getting from the story. If he is talking about who I believe he is talking about, this is just from, okay, anyways. So they broke up, and people who are fans who are fans of that group, of that relationship, wondered why they broke up. I mean, I don't think we never got an explanation. Not that we needed an explanation, but to me, they were just a cute couple, right? But she went ahead and did her own thing, and he went and did his own thing, but he never got the actual recognition. And obviously, she was the more talented one because she had her own channel, and she would do like, she would portray like this little Indian boy. She would wear the hair and the big mustache, and I used to love watching it. And she doesn't do that much anymore. But I think she got deals like TV show deals and all that stuff. And in my opinion, when they broke up, I was like, okay, well, I understand. And it sounded, he was very emotional about it from what I remember. And she basically blew up. It became super, super, super famous. And I'm not saying he's talking about her in this interview because I don't know these people in real life. But to me, this is not the first influencer kid who made a video. I made a whole video or series about this other influencer boy who was telling the story about his other friend who basically sold out and went to a celebrity party. And it was very strange, but it was very... Take a look at it. It's there in my playlist. It's one of my very few videos. And he talks about this celebrity party where they basically had different chambers, rooms, and they were going into different rooms per hour, and the celebrities were in like eye wide shut mask, while the people who were invited, who are supposed to be like becoming the new influencers, so that was right around when the influencers were becoming a real thing, a big thing, like Patricia Bright, she was one of the few, not saying that she attended those parties, but she got real big too. She got, I mean, extremely big. Nicki, the one that was married to the white guy and she got a divorce. My sister used to watch those religiously. Jackie Aina, all these people. But I say all this to say, this is not the first time, because I heard another story of this other kid who was basically telling a story about his friend who was invited to this party, and they basically blew up after that because they were requested to do certain stuff and they went ahead and signed it in a dotted line. And in my opinion, we are being distracted with, you know, influencers, celebrities, and all that stuff, and you're being paid to be who you are, yes, you know, but also it's not very likely that people will do stuff like this to become more, like overnight. Like that one black guy who basically don't even talk, and I'm not even like, you know, he just basically says, and he's like a millionaire. He was at the Met Gala just making silly videos, and don't get me wrong, people are out here getting overnight fame, but sometimes you question what happened. Like, how did they, you know, yes, he put in the work, obviously, because you do the work and you get the results, but also that quick overnight fame, it's like he used to work in a construction company, you know, basically like a regular kid, and overnight he became billionaires, just like the Charlie D'Amelio's and all of these other kids who just overnight became billionaires, versus back in the days when a lot of influencers had to go through so much and put out so much to become influencers, where now people are getting famous on TikTok overnight and having a whole TV show about their reality life. It's like crazy, you know? But it's not very far-fetched that people are out here selling people to, you know, to get the fame. If we could say it about celebrities, influencers, some who actually gain their fame overnight like that, isn't it possible that they could do that too? You know what I mean? Because it's not very different that celebrities and influencers basically have the same, because they're now in the same rooms, right? The black guy, Elijah Koshi, and all these people, she's like with Will Smith now. Not dating, but they're like doing things together, and it's just kind of strange that All of a sudden they became in this one room, they become one, where it was completely detached at first. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's just real strange. If in Haiti someone can sell someone to a god, like a deity, for fame, for money, what make you think it's not possible here, where over here in America they have all the resources? What make you think it's not possible? Or is it, you know, is America different? I don't know, because I hear stories all the time where people sell people in order, not sell them like cash money, but you can sell someone's soul, or at least give that person to a deity in return for fame and fortune, and, you know, all of these things. Not saying everybody's out here just sacrificing people. That's the word I was looking for, sacrificing people. But it's very possible. If they're doing it in Haiti, it's very possible to do here too. And I've heard countless stories of people being sacrificed for fame. I mean, celebrities, they're sacrificing their close family members and all these things. Those are not far-fetched. Like, you can't tell me a celebrity or influencers who wants it bad enough is not going to do whatever it takes for them to rub shoulders with the Will Smiths and the Megan Thee Stallions and people. There's an alleged story that's out here now about Megan Thee Stallion, you know, doing the unthinkable to her mom, Kanye West doing the unthinkable to his mom, and all these people. Those are all alleged. I was never there for any of these stories, but those are things. Not gonna lie, people in Hollywood are into some dark shit. Yes, because just watching the videos, and, you know, and this is all conspiracy, right? We weren't there for any of these things. We don't know how real they are. But from watching the videos, it seems like they are just doing some really dark stuff in Hollywood. And even people who live in Hollywood want to get out of Hollywood. So therefore, there's something serious going on. But at the end of the day, too, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are people who are doing good with the art. You know what I mean? Because there are kitchen witches. There are people who basically can give you any sort of tea to heal any sort of problem, because they have learned plants. They have learned what different plants, different flowers do for the body to help heal the body. So there are people who actually use the art to help other people. I know people in Haiti who are doing exactly what people in Hollywood are doing. Let's not pretend like everybody's out here just sacrificing their friends. Allegedly, Lady Gaga with the lady, they used to make music together. And it seems to me, allegedly, a decision was made and somebody gotta go, and all the work, if there's two people that was going to be benefiting from the work, this is all alleged from what I'm hearing from all the videos, this is just my opinion, right? If there was going to be two people benefiting from the money of the music that were created between two talented people, if one person is gone, that means the money goes to only one person. And, you know, especially if allegedly this was truly her mom saying that she can feel that her daughter is you know, living through Lady Gaga, then it lets me know the mom knows, okay? A mother always knows, all right? But my thing is, if, for example, what people are alleging from this video, I mean, I have heard this story before. This is not my first time hearing about it, and that's why I'm talking about it, because this is something that I actually heard about, not just through like image of AI. This is a real story. You guys can look it up. But my thing is, it would make sense that someone would do that, and because of the whatever it is that they're using to, I know people in Haiti who are doing this for less. They're doing the same exact thing for less. But I also know good people who are basically the town's doctor, and they use the same practice. Everybody, Christian or not, still come to him for healing. Because at one point, that doctor was used by me, because I had something going on with my knee, and he was able to do the acupuncture. I don't even know how he got the things to do it, but he did it and it worked. And ever since then, I never had that knee problem ever again. I mean, to the point where my knee would get so big and inflamed. But look, doctors couldn't tell us what was wrong with it, and he fixed us, you know, or fixed me, okay? But there are people who are using it for good, and there are people who are using it for bad, and there are the ones in the middle who use it for both, which represents balance, right? use it for good, use it for bad, represent balance, as above so below, as within so without, as the spiritual so the physical, the whole jazz. Anyways, you cannot put everyone under the same umbrella, you know, and there are people out there who do, simply because they see it and say, oh, it's demonic. So therefore, anybody who does anything is demonic. You light a candle, that's demonic. But meanwhile, you celebrate Christmas, you put up a tree and all that, and that's a pagan holiday if we're really going to talk about it. You celebrate Easter, and most people go to church on Easter. The church is filled on Easter Sunday, okay? But you still don't realize that Easter is talking about a goddess Esther, and a whole lot going on. I wanted to make a video about that, but I was on vacation with my mom for her birthday on Easter, and we were having a good old funky time out, so I didn't get a chance to record the whole Easter video, but I will one day, because you guys know how I like to mix everything up so you can really truly see what you're celebrating on a regular. But anyways, back to Haiti. I know people who does the same sorts of sacrifices, because if you really want to see what the people you adore, like the celebrities, do, these are things that people are doing all over the world, in Africa, in Haiti. In Haiti, they do it for less. In Africa, probably the same exact thing. You know, here in America, you got the celebrities who are basically doing it and becoming famous. A lot of those people, let's just be honest, a lot of the celebrities are people who are reincarnated, basically. And they already know that they're meant to be stars. And or they tap into their spirituality and learn. They go to psychics. This is like a normal thing. Eventually it will be more out there, because people will see, like, so many people are doing it now that it's just going to be like a normal thing, because it was never a bad thing to begin with. You know, people are saying, oh, well, you shouldn't look at your future. Well, because if something's gonna happen, you can prevent that, because they will tell you. It's not to tell you to say, oh, you know what, that's the end for you. It gives you an option, like, hey, I can actually change this situation, basically, right? And I'm not saying you should be looking at your future all the time, because then you will be very anxious all the time. You know, you want to allow some stuff to just flow. But getting a reading, or getting a tarot reading, you know, manifest your life by doing affirmations and vision boards and all that stuff, how is that demonic? How is that demonic? Getting a reading for my future, for example, look, your finance is about to be shitty next month, so make sure you don't spend as much money. So now that I know that my finance will be shitty next month, I'm not speaking that into existence, but now that you know this, you can take some steps back and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't order lunch today. And or if something's about to happen, I was listening to the story, and I'm kind of all over the place, but I kind of want to show you guys what I mean, because the whole world basically runs on magic. And I say this all the time. Everything around you are sigils, the stop sign, because every time you see, even without it writing the stop, every time you see that shape, you just automatically already know, because it's already ingrained in your mind, because it's a sigil. The Coco Chanel symbol, every time you see it, you see luxury, because that's a sigil, and they put it there for your mind to automatically see luxury. Everything around you is magic, basically, everything around you, right? And it will take a lot of people a hard time and to basically see what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to show you examples. There are so many hospitals that basically subliminally show you the, how do you call that? The cross with the snake going through it. That's a sigil also. Every time you see it, you just think, medical. You know, it's a sigil. It's a sigil. Yeah. So anyways, what was I going to say before I... Everything around you is magic. And yeah, so I was listening to the story. Well, actually, it's called the Trinity Oracle Girls. There's 3 black African American sisters. They're basically psychics, and these girls are so on point, to the point I'm like, girls, y'all are so blessed, okay? Because I'm not there yet. Eventually I will be, but I'm like, girls. Anyway, so they were telling the story about, well, not a story, but they were on a podcast, and they basically said how they were telling this man, because he came to them for a reading, and they basically told him that, do not drink and drive, because that will be your demise. Do not drink and drive, that will be your demise. They tell the man this, and then every time he is drunk, even though he's drunk subconsciously, because it's something that he knows, and they told him that you can change that situation, basically the man was going to be unalive in a drink and drive thing. because he was drinking a lot, right? So every time he's drunk, even though he was so drunk, under the influence so much, every time he grabbed his keys about to get into his car, he hear it in his head that he should not drink and drive. And this man basically quit drinking, and now like he basically has so many years to live because he simply listened and decided to change the situation. You know, it's not all the time you get a reading and you're like, oh, it's the end for me. Oh, it's the, no, sometimes it just give you a hint like, hey, dude, you need to stop this track instead of, you know, you need to stop what you're doing. Because sometimes reading could simply be your angel trying to tap you like, hey, dude, you need to get it together. Even like certain dreams or something that waking you up. So basically, like you get into, if you were going to get into a major accident, you might, you know, they might give you a nudge by having you get into a smaller accident, you know, something, let's not even say accident, right? Maybe you leave your key at home and you're like, you know what, or no, you can't find your keys. You're going out, you cannot find your keys. Instead of getting annoyed, you should thank God or thank your angels, because they could be for preventing a accident ahead. So that's the reason why you're a little bit delayed, so you can avoid it. And while you're driving to work or something, you see an accident. You're just like, you know, kiss my brain. I'm so smart. Thanks to my angels for losing my keys and then letting me finding them maybe 5 minutes later. Or even like you hear in your head, take the, how do you call that? Take the inside road instead of the highway. Instead of, you know that the inside road will still take you to the same place, but you went on the highway anyways. Then you ended up blocked because there's something on the highway, and or you get involved into something that you shouldn't be getting involved to. Sometimes you have to listen to your inner thoughts. Sometimes it's God talking to you, or your higher self talking to you, or your angels giving you a little nudge. But a lot of celebrities, sorry I'm like rambling right now, but a lot of celebrities are tapped in and they're able to use different energy forces to get what they want. And not saying, like I said before, there are people who just want to skip all the steps and say, you know what, this is what I want, I know I'm supposed to be this, and then they make it happen. Okay, and this is all alleged because we don't know if they're actually doing stuff like this, but it's giving very much tapping into different realms, tapping into different energies to get to what you want. Now, do you have any morals or do you not have any morals? That's why you differentiate. And when I want to touch on the whole Beyoncé thing, when she and Nicki Minaj has the two, you know, Roman, Nicki Minaj, Sasha Fierce, Nicki Minaj, it's dual person, not necessarily dual personality, but an alter ego. You know how Marilyn Monroe, she was Marilyn Monroe on stage, but then she was also Norma Jean. So whenever she wanted to switch and change, because she was talking to her friend, she was like, hey, you want to see her, basically? And she turned into her. Just like me, sometimes, depending on the location where I am, I will change into somebody else, because you have to be able to get through the door. You know, you get through the door, you do what you need to do, and then when you come off, you take it off. Just like you put a wig on, you become somebody else, or you feel like somebody else, or you feel like a better version of yourself, or whatever it is that you're putting it on for, then you transform into that person. When you get your new hairdo, you transform into that person. Not gonna lie, people in Hollywood are into some dark shit. Yes. Because just watching the videos, and you know, and this is all conspiracy, right? We weren't there for any of these things. We don't know how real they are. But from watching the videos, it seems like they are just doing some really dark stuff in Hollywood. And even people who live in Hollywood want to get out of Hollywood. So therefore, there's something serious going on. But at the end of the day, too, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are people who are doing good with the art. You know what I mean? Because there are kitchen witches. There are people who basically can give you any sort of tea to heal any sort of problem, because they have learned plants. They have learned what different plants, different flowers do for the body to help heal the body. So there are people who actually use the art to help other people. I know people in Haiti who are doing exactly what people in Hollywood are doing. Let's not pretend like everybody's out here just sacrificing their friends. Allegedly, Lady Gaga with the lady, they used to make music together. And it seems to me, allegedly, a decision was made and somebody gotta go, and all the work, if there's two people that was going to be benefiting from the work, this is all alleged from what I'm hearing from all the videos, this is just my opinion, right? If there was gonna be two people benefiting from the money of the music that were created between two talented people, if one person is gone, that means the money goes to only one person. And you know, especially if allegedly this was truly her mom saying that she can feel that her daughter